must be joking. We're done here.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For so many reasons.
We all can be masters at our craft, but you have to make a choice. What I mean by that is the inherent sacrifices that come along with that.
Larry Bird may have just pulled back the curtain on something fans were never meant to see, and the NBA world reacted instantly. The internet exploded after a recent interview where Bird was asked the familiar question of who ranks higher, Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. The mood shifted immediately, as if something snapped, and his reaction caught everyone off guard. But that moment was only the beginning. Bird went deeper, breaking down mindset, era, and what truly separates legends from headlines. He even hinted at behind-the-scenes moments involving Kobe and LeBron that never made highlight reels. What's important to understand is why that question bothered him so much. It was never about choosing sides or hating LeBron. To Bird, the question itself crossed a line because it showed a lack of respect for the league, its culture, and especially for Kobe. Bird comes from an era where greatness was earned through pain, repetition, and silence, not self-promotion or online validation. You didn't crown yourself, the game did it for you. Kobe never chased approval. Michael Jordan never chased approval. Their work spoke loudly enough on its own. Bird's frustration comes from seeing someone try to control the narrative before their legacy is finished. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it. What Bird was really calling out was bigger than any one player. It was a mentality. One path is built on obsession, sacrifice, and comfort in discomfort. The other is built on strategy, optics, and making sure everything is perfectly aligned before making a move. Kobe lived in the grind. Every film session, every early morning workout, and every unwanted defensive assignment was his comfort zone. Opponents felt it before tip-off. His presence alone made teams tense. LeBron, on the other hand, has always valued alignment, the right roster, the right system, and the right timing. He thrives when the environment bends to him, not when he has to bend to the environment. To Bird, that difference matters. After the interview, reports suggested Bird's anger stemmed from watching LeBron repeatedly pushed into conversations meant for a very specific type of player, not just elite athletes or scorers, but warriors who made the court feel hostile. Kobe, Jordan, and Bird himself fit that mold. They made opponents hesitate before even lacing up their shoes. That's why, to Bird, comparing Kobe and LeBron misses the point entirely. It isn't an apples-to-apples debate. It's a clash of two completely different philosophies. The frustration was never personal. It was about principle. Some debates aren't opinions. They're definitions.
But if you want to have fun like I did with Bill Walton, play with LeBron.
Really?
It'd been probably more fun to play with LeBron, but if you want to win and win and win, it's Kobe.
Like, is Michael Jordan a friend of yours?
He's a good mentor, man. He's like a big brother.
He is. Okay.
When Larry Bird speaks on this topic, it carries real weight. This isn't nostalgia talking, it's the perspective of someone forged in the toughest era the NBA has ever seen. Bird entered the league in 1979 with the Celtics. When hand-checking was legal, the paint was a war zone, and every possession felt like a fight. He played through injuries that would sideline most stars today. In the 1985 playoffs against Philadelphia, Bird dislocated his shoulder in Game 2 and still finished with 20 points and 10 rebounds. A dislocated shoulder, a full stat line, and no excuses. That background and repetition stacked on top of repetition. The Mamba mentality wasn't a slogan, it was a lifestyle. Bird saw LeBron too. The highlights were impossible to miss. The drives, the dunks, the eye-popping numbers. But this is where Bird saw the separation. LeBron has always existed as more than just a basketball player. He's a global celebrity, carefully presented, everything polished, framed, and timed. Bird noticed that immediately. And to be clear, Bird doesn't need to hype anyone. He isn't chasing clicks, viral moments, or social media approval. He doesn't need to tear LeBron down to lift Kobe up. That argument doesn't work on someone like him. Bird has always been blunt. Say it straight, no filters, no apologies. So when he brushed LeBron aside in that interview, the message was simple.
To him, this was never close. Bird has lived through the most physical era the league ever saw. He has played, coached, and evaluated from the front office. He knows exactly how legends are built. That's why the interview caught people off guard. Most expected something diplomatic, safe, or polished. Instead, Bird didn't hesitate. He just said it. When Bird described LeBron's game as fun, he was talking about the highlights, the effortless power, the moments built for replay. It looks smooth, it entertains, and it draws crowds. But fun was never the same as fear. The win side, that was Kobe. The brutal workouts, the defensive assignments nobody wanted, the nights when the body was broken down and the shots still had to be taken, sometimes with broken fingers, sometimes through injuries most players wouldn't even attempt to play through.
His technique was flawless. I wanted to make sure my technique was just as flawless.
Been down at half court and he wanted to know how, when I turn around on my jump shot, how to feel the defense. I told him you should feel the defense with your leg.
Really break it down for us, because it seems like Kobe is the closest thing we've ever seen to MJ.
Molly, you're absolutely right.
I've never seen nobody as competitive like him, but Mike. That's it. Like, when people talk about, your favorite players and best players in the world, I say Mike, I say Kobe, and then everybody.
Kobe Bryant took the last shot because he wanted that responsibility. He lived for it. That is what made him terrifying and what made him a true warrior. Larry Bird wasn't saying LeBron couldn't win games. He was saying LeBron wasn't built for that relentless, do-or-die mindset. LeBron's strength has always been positioning, managing situations, and making sure everything aligns before the battle starts. Kobe didn't care about alignment. He lived basketball, and everyone around him felt it every single day. That's why Bird didn't need to argue statistics. He didn't need to. In one blunt sentence, he summed up a debate that's lasted more than 20 years. Kobe represented basketball in its rawest form, while LeBron represents lights, cameras, and spectacle. To old-school legends like Bird, that difference matters. Kobe never modeled himself after popularity or influence. He modeled himself after warriors, obsessively studying Michael Jordan. He didn't just watch highlights, he dissected every foot placement, shoulder angle, and movement, analyzing how Jordan set defenders up 3 moves ahead. Bird respects that obsessive attention to detail. Kobe would rewind the same possession repeatedly, not for inspiration, but to uncover tiny edges most players never notice. He went straight to the source in the late 90s, asking Jordan questions most players would be too proud to ask. How to create space without speed, control a defender's balance, and make the same move look different each time. Jordan later said Kobe was the only player who truly challenged him mentally, not for praise, but to find answers. That distinction defines Kobe. Magic Johnson even called him the closest thing to Michael Jordan the game ever produced. And Allen Iverson said that after Jordan, Kobe was the greatest player of all time. Coming from competitors who faced him directly, that recognition carries real weight. What really sealed Kobe's legacy for Bird was his behavior under pressure. Kobe demanded the hardest defensive assignments, took on the other team's best player, and thrived in tight games and hostile arenas. He demanded the ball, double teams and all, not because it was easy or efficient, but because he believed it was his responsibility. Bird, having lived through those moments himself, recognized that mindset immediately. For Kobe, efficiency was secondary. A superstar's job was to absorb pressure so teammates didn't have to. He did that for 2 decades, punishing himself into greatness. Former teammates would arrive to practice to find Kobe already drenched in sweat hours ahead of everyone.
Dislocated his finger, and it can be really, really difficult depending on the dislocation back into place. And then as soon as it goes in, he was gone. Like, I patted him on the head, like, okay, it's gonna be okay. And next thing I know, he was gone. That in and of itself showed the toughness and the tenacity of Kobe Bryant.
So Kobe Bryant cannot continue. But he's going to
Kobe Bryant never got comfortable. Every season he added something new. Footwork one year, counter spins another, later angles, timing, and patience. Even as his athleticism faded late in his career, his game continued to evolve. That is why Larry Bird reacted the way he did. He saw himself in Kobe. He saw Michael Jordan, and he recognized that same willingness to suffer quietly and let results speak. To truly understand why legends like Bird align so naturally with Kobe, you have to understand the era he survived. Kobe entered the league in 1996, a completely different NBA from the one LeBron joined in 2003 or the modern game today. That league was designed to make scorers miserable. Hand-checking was legal until the 2004-2005 season. Defenders could bump, guide, and challenge every move, and every possession was a fight, not a showcase. Bruce Bowen, Ron Artest, Doug Christie, and Tayshaun Prince weren't guarding to contain. They were there to drain players mentally and physically, possession after possession. The paint was controlled by real enforcers: Shaq, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Yao Ming. Driving to the rim meant absorbing shoulders, elbows, and fouls that would cause outrage today, but back then, that was just defense. Availability was another major difference. There was no load management culture. If you could walk, you played. Kobe regularly logged over 40 minutes per night, season after season, without rest. In 2009, he played an entire season with a broken index finger on his shooting hand, still averaging 26 points while leading the Lakers to a championship. In the 2010 finals against Boston, with his knees failing, Game 7 turned into a physical battle disguised as basketball. Kobe shot poorly but grabbed 15 rebounds and did whatever was needed to win. In February 2016 against the Spurs, when his finger bent the wrong way, he calmly let the trainer reset it and returned to the game. In 2013 against Golden State, he ruptured his Achilles mid-play, but calmly made his free throws before leaving the court. Pain didn't stop Kobe. It fueled him.